Hello and welcome to the introduction to the Birdhouse Blossoms Bundle. This includes the Birdhouse Blossoms dies, the Birdhouse Blossoms stamp set, and the Birdhouse Blossoms embossing folder. So all these three can work together. They can also work individually. So I'm going to show you the die set first. The Birdhouse Blossom dies. The back of the packaging shows you how you can build a birdhouse. There's two different birds. You can add texture. Using the Birdhouse Blossoms embossing folder, you get that wood grain texture to your birdhouse, and then there's several sentiments. There's also a little mini birdhouse that you can stamp. Here I've stamped you one to show you. You've got the solid triangle for the birdhouse, and then the trim for the roof and the base. For sentiments, we have the nicest day, stay cozy, sending warm wishes, to new beginnings, happy holidays, welcome home, hello, you feel like home. And some of these fit great in a little sentiment banner that's included in the die set. So those arched sentiments fit perfectly on the arched banner die. See, I stamped one here, sending warm wishes, but these other ones will work too, to new beginnings, happy holidays, and welcome home. Okay, so now for all the dies, I've die cut them all to show you. Here you have your birdhouse base, your trim, your roof, all those I did out of craft and dark brown cardstock. There's also a little, what do you call that, peg that allows for a bird to stand on it. Several different leaves and foliage and twigs that you can layer up and mix and match in a variety of ways. There's also little berry buds. I'm not sure what they're called, but you can put those on the stems. You can also put them on the little branch die cut. There's different types of blooms that you could layer up and mix and match with color combinations. Little tiny florals, little floral centers. Sorry, my camera's going in and out of focus here with my hand getting in the way. But like I said, you could take those little berries and put them on the end of this branchy stem for a different look too. By the way, I cut those out of wild berry cardstock. Now for the birds, there's two different kinds of birds. One's kind of a stubby, chubby bird. And you can layer them up, mix and match the colors. There's a little teeny eyeball, and there's also a little teeny beak. So I did that one. It's kind of like a robin, I would say. Now here's one that's kind of like a cardinal. I did poppy and cranberry. And then here's the beak. I believe that is, I never can tell sunflower from honeycomb. It's one of those yellows for the beak. And then for the eye, it has this whole eye thingy, like an eye mask that fits around the bird. You know when the bird has all that black area? You can also do an additional black eyeball. Another thing I like to do is take a white gel pen and just make a little dot on the eyeball. It gives a little something, something. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to add texture to your birdhouse. First, you're going to want to die cut it. Now, for the embossing folder, one side has that hole, like the hole that the bird goes in, and it dips down in there. That's the part I use. The other side is kind of raised. I like the one that dips down in. I mean, I think there's a lot of different ways you can do this, depending on which way you want your wood grain to go. So first you just kind of line up the birdhouse, and then you line up your trim, your roof, your base. It's easy to do. You could also add a little Post-it tape if you want to hold it in place. I didn't find that I needed to do that. You just have to be careful. You definitely don't want to sneeze at this point or breathe heavy or laugh. I don't want to make you laugh. Okay, get it lined up. Carefully close the embossing folder, and then you can see here if you've got it lined up correctly. And pinch that puppy shut. I'm going to take it off camera, run it through my die cutting machine, and then I'll show you the texture. It's really cool. Look at that. You could even go over this with a little, brown ink and really emphasize that wood grain, and then you got the wood grain on the trim. So sometimes I don't know which side is which, like where the bumps go out or the bumps go in. I think there's no wrong answer here. It's just whatever you prefer. So you could flip these around. I don't know. I think it's customizable. So there's your textured birdhouse. It's delightful. And then you can zhuzh it up with all the blooms the foliage, the blossoms. I created 3 cards here. I had a heyday. Here's a little shape card. I made a birdhouse shape card. I added some yellow blossoms, some foliage in different colors. I even did some of the foliage out of vellum. I added a grapefruit and sorbet chubby stubby bird. And this one here, this is a larger card. It's more like, what, 5 by 6 or something, to allow for all that sprigs and sprays of foliage. But I love the bright red and blue. And I did texture on this birdhouse. This one here just has the stamped birdhouse with the stamp set, die cut heart, little blossom. On the background, I used an older embossing folder. It's called Tea Blossom, and it gave a great floral texture to the background. And that is the introduction to the Birdhouse Blossoms Bundle.